The modern world is noisy, fast, and filled with temptations. Everywhere you look, images, messages, and distractions are pulling at your attention. And at the center of it all is one of the strongest forces known to man, sexuality. Carl Jung once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you'll call it fate." Nowhere is this truer than in how men deal with their sexual instincts. Today we will explore a concept that might sound radical. The desexualized mind, a mind that is no longer enslaved by uncontrolled desires, but instead channels that same powerful energy into creativity, focus, and greatness. This is not about rejecting sexuality or demonizing desire. Instead, it is about transforming it, mastering it, and making it serve you rather than control you. Let's start by understanding the foundation. Carl Jung, one of the greatest psychologists of the 20th century, built his work on the exploration of archetypes and the unconscious mind. He, like Freud, acknowledged the immense role sexuality plays in human behavior. But while Freud reduced much of human motivation to sexual drives, Jung saw sexuality as part of a greater psychological energy, what he called libido, the life force. To Jung, sexuality was only one expression of this vital energy, not its ultimate purpose. This insight is powerful for the modern man, because it means that the very energy that often enslaves men, the craving for pleasure, for stimulation, for release, can also be redirected. It can become creativity, willpower, discipline, clarity, and even spiritual growth. The problem we face today is that society is hypersexualized. Marketing uses sex to sell everything. Social media feeds on constant stimulation. Pornography has rewired the brains of millions, trapping men in cycles of dopamine addiction, unable to focus, unable to build, unable to lead. Jung would have called this a psychic imbalance, a man possessed not by his higher self, but by his shadow. But here lies the secret. When a man learns to desexualize his mind not by killing desire, but by mastering it, he unlocks an extraordinary source of power. The same energy that once pulled him down now lifts him up. Think about the great men of history. Leaders, philosophers, inventors, warriors. Do you think they built empires, wrote masterpieces, and conquered challenges by being slaves to their instincts? No. They understood something deeper. Self-mastery is the foundation of greatness. The Stoics called it control of passions. Jung called it integration of the unconscious. Modern psychology calls it delayed gratification. But the principle is eternal. The man who controls himself becomes unstoppable. Now, let's break this down further. The energy of desire, sexual energy, is one of the strongest biological drives in existence. It is linked to our survival, our genes, our continuity as a species. But when mismanaged, it becomes destructive. Science shows that excessive indulgence in pornography or instant gratification changes the brain's reward system. Dopamine pathways weaken, motivation for real goals declines, and men lose vitality. But here is the paradox. This same energy is also the root of creation. Jung believed libido is not just sexual, it is life energy. If you can discipline it, sublimate it, and redirect it, you transform it into drive, ambition, creativity, and spiritual insight. Jung's warning, and the shadow Jung often warned about repression. Simply trying to suppress desire doesn't work. It pushes it into the unconscious, where it becomes part of the shadow. The shadow then takes control in unhealthy ways. Addictions, compulsions, secret lives. The goal is not repression, but transformation. Desexualization, then, is not about becoming cold or lifeless. It is about elevating desire. Jung wrote that individuation, the process of becoming whole, requires integrating your instincts into a higher order. A desexualized mind is not an empty one. It is a mind that has harnessed raw power and turned it into focus, wisdom, and purpose. The modern man's struggle today, many men are trapped. They wake up scrolling through images. They seek constant stimulation. They confuse lust with love, pleasure with purpose. The result? Anxiety, depression, lack of focus, shallow relationships, and wasted potential. Jung would say they are possessed by the archetype of the pure etterness, the eternal boy, forever chasing pleasure, but never growing into manhood. But the man who learns to rise above this, he becomes rare. He becomes powerful. His mind becomes calm, sharp, and directed. He is no longer swayed by every impulse, every ad, every distraction. He sees clearly. And in this clarity, he discovers freedom. The secret weapon. Why do I call this the secret weapon of the modern man? Because in a society where almost everyone is enslaved by desires, the man who isn't stands out like a lion among sheep. While others waste time chasing pleasure, he builds. While others consume, he creates. While others collapse under temptation, he grows stronger. This is the man who turns sexual energy into focus for building businesses, writing books, mastering skills, cultivating wisdom, and leading others. He becomes magnetic, not because he chases, but because his presence radiates discipline and strength. Carl Jung once said, "No tree, it is said, can grow to heaven unless its roots reach down to hell." Mastering your desires does not mean ignoring them. It means knowing them deeply, confronting them, and integrating them. That is the desexualized mind. Practical steps to desexualization. So how do you apply this in your life? Let me give you some guiding principles. Awareness. Recognize when your mind is hijacked by desire. Observe your triggers. Awareness is the first step to mastery. Discipline. Practice delayed gratification. Do not give in to every impulse. Each time you resist, you strengthen your willpower. Redirection. Channel the energy. Exercise, create, study, build. Transform the urge into action. Meditation. Train your mind to be still. Jung often emphasized self-reflection. The more you reflect, the more you master. Integration. Do not hate your desires. Accept them as part of you, then elevate them toward a higher goal. These practices align with both Jungian psychology and Stoic philosophy. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. The reward of a desexualized mind is freedom. You are no longer a slave to the world's manipulations. Your energy returns to you. Your focus sharpens. Your relationships deepen. You live with clarity and purpose. And ironically, when you no longer chase, you attract. True strength, true masculinity, is magnetic. People sense when a man has self-mastery. Women respect it. Men admire it. The world notices it. But more importantly, you respect yourself. And that is the foundation of everything. The modern man is surrounded by distractions, temptations, and endless noise. But the one who cultivates a desexualized mind, who learns to master his desires and channel his energy, becomes rare and powerful. Carl Jung taught us that the unconscious rules until it is made conscious. Do not let your desires rule you unconsciously. Bring them into the light, master them, and rise above. The desexualized mind is not a weak mind. It is the strongest mind. It is the secret weapon of the man who refuses to be enslaved, who chooses creation over consumption, and who builds a future instead of destroying it. If this message spoke to you, remember, mastery begins with awareness. Take control of your mind, and you will take control of your destiny. And as always, if you found value in this video, please give it a like, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe for more powerful teachings. Together, let's rise above the noise of the modern world.